Hey friends, so I want to have a little bit of fun today and go over why people call me the doctor of the fear of public speaking. Why do they call me Dr. Bob, right? When it comes to fear and phobia of public speaking, I just want to let you know, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a PhD, but I do have certifications in this very focused area of the psychology when it does come to the fears and phobia response to public speaking. I think that's why a lot of people call me doctor. They just know that I actually have certifications, and therefore sometimes they actually assume I have to clarify. But I think one of the things we look at why people will call me the doctor, and again, I'm not one, is because of my understanding of the fear response and my deep knowledge of the fight or flight response and the anxiety that comes along with fear of public speaking. Now, when it comes to public speaking, it's a phobia, right? So we have two kinds of anxieties that are going on that I help you overcome. And one is the actual phobia of public speaking itself, right? So what happens is when we have a phobia, that's an irrational fear of something, right? A phobia, when it comes down to it, is an irrational fear of something. It could be of dogs, getting on a plane, escalators. The social phobia that comes along with public speaking is much different. It has to be treated differently. And I think that's where a lot of public speaking coaches get it wrong. They practice on exposure, just keep practicing. You'll get over your phobia in time, which is just actually the opposite. It actually makes you 9 to 35 times worse. And that actually is an Ivy League public study. It does make you worse, and as well as breathing techniques, right? So a lot of them do this meditative breathing techniques and deep breaths, and it's supposed to calm you down, but it actually does the opposite. It actually awakens the fear response. And that's where Toastmasters and public speakers get it wrong. And they don't mean to. They just don't understand how the brain works and how the fight and flight response works. And that's called threat learning. We're trying to calm ourselves down. So I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. Hey, Bob here. If this video is hitting home, don't just stop here. Go take my free public speaking fear quiz to get your personal fear score and instantly watch my 15-minute workshop. You'll learn why traditional tips and tricks fail and how I've helped over 700 coaching clients and well over 1,500 online course professionals speak fearlessly in just 21 days with a 99.2 success rate. There's no fluff, no sales pitch, just the fix. So just click the link below in the description to get started. Thank you so much. So going back to the phobia, when you have a phobia or the irrational fear of public speaking, what's going on is by mistake, our fear response part of our brain, which is called the amygdala, the little part of our brain, hardwires it as if it's a physical danger or threat. Now, we know public speaking is not a physical danger or threat like a grizzly bear or a tiger or a fire in your home or an intruder in your home or something like that. But our amygdala is there, the fight or flight system, to power us up to be able to outrun or outfight a physical danger or threat. And so what's going on is we're being pumped up with all this adrenaline and oxygen to be able to fight off a threat that's not there. And that's why we get all those symptoms like the pounding heart and the quivering voice and the shaking hands and the brain freeze. Another thing that happens is that when the amygdala is activated, the fight or flight response is activated, it actually shuts off our thinking brain. It doesn't want us to think. It wants us to react because it thinks we are in danger. Don't think, react. Get out or fight. So that's what's happening. Now, the other anxiety that we work on is secondary. So once you have the phobia and you have a few bad experiences public speaking, now you start getting anxiety about having a presentation coming up. So I call that anticipatory anxiety or dread. And that's a secondary anxiety that we have to tackle, because once I help you get over your phobia, well, that helps you with the phobia when you're literally speaking. But all those days leading up to it, all that anxiety that consumes you and the dread and, oh my God, I hope I don't get nervous and I hope I don't embarrass myself, and all that starts snowballing. So we need to also stop this anxiety from happening. So I actually do two things in my course. We stop the phobia itself. We literally remove it from the amygdala's database, so it no longer sees public speaking as a phobia. But then I also help you get rid of all that anticipatory dread. And I teach you how to literally stop it in its tracks so that we don't snowball leading up to that event, so it's consuming you for days and days. And then what we always try to do is we try to overcompensate by practicing a lot. We do a lot of practicing because we know we're so nervous that we're going to freeze. But the beautiful thing is, once you have the phobia, you no longer freeze. But I want to get rid of that anxiety that makes you think that you might. right? So we have to tackle two different things, and I think that's why a lot of people call me the doctor when it comes to public speaking cure. And what is the cure? The cure is literally removing the phobia from the fight or flight response, and that's what I do. And as you look, I actually have a 99.2 success rate, and that's based on my one-on-ones and also the refund rate. I actually have literally the lowest refund rate. Just to let you know, if we're online, if you're doing the do-it-yourself online course, do-it-yourself online courses have a low refund rate of 5% and as high as over 30%. That is incredibly high. And I think that's why a lot of people are skeptical about taking about a do-it-yourself course. But as you can see, my refund rate is ultra low. It's actually almost unheard of when it comes to literally a 0.8 refund rate. Just think about that. That means everybody going this course is getting a lot of good out of it. And of course, my one-on-one clients, they're getting, we meet and I work with you until you're literally cured of your phobia. So that's why they have a 100% success rate. I leave no man behind when it comes to when it comes to coaching. But when it comes to the do-yourself courses, I get a lot of emails, and of course, I also base it on the refund rate, which is just almost, I get like literally 1 or 2 a year, and we're talking about thousands of people going through this course. So it's really low success. It's really high success rate, low refund rate. And just going back to the biggest difference between me and most public speaking coaches. And we look at this chart right here. Well, public speaking coaches, they rely on those ineffective, repetitive exposure therapies, which increase, again, your anxiety 9 to 35 times worse. And again, that is literally an Ivy League study that studies the phobia of public speaking and anxiety, actually increases it. We, on the other hand, we use a proprietary, scientifically backed method to deactivate both of your response and that dread I was talking about. So over here, public speaking coaches and Toastmasters, well, they focus on practice. They don't cure the underlying phobia and anxiety. And that's where I really come in. That's my strength. That's all I really do, is I cure your phobia at its core in just 21 days with a 99.2 success rate. Again, going back to them, they improve upon the art, but they don't improve on overcoming any deep anxiety. And that's where my whole program is designed for those with severe anxiety, panic, dread, all those manifestations with the pounding heart, the quivering voice, the sweating, all those things that come along with public speaking, pounding heart, dread, sweating, quivering voice, shaking hands, avoidance, sleepless nights, anxiety, brain freeze, and panic. That's where I come in and help you. So I hope you found this helpful on the difference between me and most other speaking coaches and Toastmasters and why they call me the doctor. Again, I'm not a doctor. I am certified in the fears and phobia of public speaking. That's why I have such a high success rate with all of my clients. So I welcome you guys to join my do-it-yourself course or my coaching program, depending on what your budget is and your time. But it's a really easy course to go through. Overcoming the public speaking anxiety is actually really simple once you have a path. And I literally created the yellow brick road in just 3 weeks. It's easy, spending just minutes a day. You can literally reverse the phobia for the rest of your lives so that you can speak, present with confidence, whether it's a Zoom call, boardroom meeting, big stage, 3 people or 30,000 people. I've helped people from all those different scales and all those different levels and different types of public speaking, including interview panels, which really make us nervous, right? So I hope to see you in my course. Feel free to write me an email. I'm happy to write you back. I always bring my emails over to my morning coffees, and I love getting back to you guys. So again, thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope you found it really helpful.